Hello, good morning to everyone. On behalf of management, once again, we welcome you to day two of our training session. Like we did indicate 3 days ago, we expect all participants to participate fully. Today, we are going to have two presentations, one on the dashboard, then the DR Plus itself. We expect all of you to pay attention. You should just put every activity aside and let's concentrate. Like we mentioned, no one is a repository of knowledge. So there is a need for us to constantly refresh our memories on whatever we've learned. As you go through this training, we wish you all the best of luck. And we expect that at the end, we will be better equipped than we met today. So we will be starting our presentation on the dashboard. And this will be done by Mr. Frank Murphy. He works with the Regional Education Office, Koforidua, in the Eastern region. So, Mr. Murphy, if you are ready, the floor is yours, and we would like to hear from you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Charles. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So, thank you very much. I will
Murphy,
share my.
hold on.
Okay.
Please, those who have challenges can type it in the chat box so that it will be addressed. In case any of them has a challenge joining, let us know. Thank you. You can go on, Murphy.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
It can be seen now.
All right. All right. So, good morning, colleagues. This morning we are going to look at the DR Plus dashboard and then the application that the schools are using for the data submission. And so dashboard. So today it's going to be interactive. Charles, are you around? You'll be calling names for them to answer some questions as we go along. Is that okay? Hello? Hello? Hello, Charles. Hello, Charles. Hello, everyone. Can I be heard? Hello? Hello? Hello, good morning. Okay. All right.
By Ibinum. Hello. Hello. Hello, Murphy. Hello. Hello, Murphy. Yeah, kindly unmute yourself and start with your presentation. Hello, Murphy.
Charles, can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
I can hear
me?
you. I can hear you now.
Okay. And can you see my screen?
Not yet.
I
It
guess
can be
it's now.
seen now.
Okay. All right. So let me continue with the presentation. Okay. So we are just going to go through the presentation outline, the DL Plus dashboard, then the application, and then the role of the SISO, and then we look at some concepts and definitions. Okay. So the purpose is to equip you to be able to access the DL Plus dashboard and then use the application. And so to access the DL Plus dashboard, you take your device, whether phone or PC, and then you type dlplus.org, and then you key in your username and a password. So I'm sure we will create login credentials so that you'll be able to access the dashboard. And once you put in the correct login credentials, you'll be able this is how you are going to view it. And so after that, the the most important thing that we want circuit supervisors to do
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, please? Okay, so whilst we wait for Murphy to reorganize himself, we would like to welcome Mr. Eric Osei Adofo. He is a content developer in the Differentiated Learning Intervention Program. So, Mr. Adofo, if you are around and you are ready, I think we can hear from you now. So, the floor is
Thank
yours.
you thank you very much, Mr. Asante and the able coordinators out there. And good morning to colleagues online. Today is also another day that we're going to refresh ourselves to go and then support the SISOs on the field for them to also go and coach and then mentor our heads and our teachers on the field. So we're going to refresh ourselves with some of the DL components and also to look at what differentiated learning plus is. Please, can you see my screen now? I've tried sharing my screen. Can you see it? Can you see my screen? Hello? Hello? I've shared my screen. Can anyone see it? All right, I think because of the rains and the thunder and lightning, there are interruptions in the network. Okay, great. I hope you can see my screen now. Thank you very much, Mark, for sharing my screen. But can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Oh, too bad. Hello? Hello? I think the rain is interrupting our session. Yeah, Mark. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So with differentiated learning plus, as Antiagi said the other time, there are a few different things that have been brought on board. And that is, we take into account strategies for managing different class sizes. You know, you go to certain schools, and after the grouping of the learners, some of the levels will be very huge. In this case, what should the teacher do? How can the teacher implement differentiated learning with fidelity? So we have developed some strategies to support these teachers. in order to be able to effectively reach out to every individual in the class. Then again, learners who are showing signs of progression, we are also going to organize regular tests for all learners within the level at the end of the 3rd week, the 6th week, and then the 8th week, so that we know how the other learners, as well as all the learners in each level, are also faring and progressing. Then also, we are looking at community engagement, where we are bringing the community through the SMC on board to become aware of this intervention, for them to also own the program or to own the project, so that when the donors end their period for the intervention, the community can support the school to continue with the program. Then, as earlier, Murphy also came in with the dashboard. We want real-time data, so that at the click of a button, you can tell what is happening in each and every school, as well as the performance of individuals in the classroom. And then also we have the monitoring and evaluation aspect, which was spoken to by Emmanuel from Ministry of Education. And then again, Gloria also came in to tell us the role of NASIA in differentiated learning plus support. So these are the new things that are going to be implemented in the various schools as expected. But apart from that, we will also want the SISOs also to acquaint themselves with differentiated learning. When we talk of differentiated learning, what is it about? What goes into it? The various stages, the assessment stage, the implementation stage, the monitoring stage, what goes into it? We want them also to acquaint themselves with it, so that when they get to school and the teacher says, oh, we are conducting assessment and grouping, they will know what it is about. We are doing implementation, classroom instructions, what the teacher should look out for, what the CISO should look out for. So these are the things that we want to take the CISOs through. So we go on. Next slide, please. Yes, session 1. We are looking at the overview of differentiated learning. Next. So under this, we are looking at motivation and background to differentiated learning, the concept of differentiated learning, the components of differentiated learning, the importance, as well as characteristics, and then the implementation approach, which we are well familiar with. When we talk of the motivation and background of differentiated learning, we are talking about learners lacking foundational skills, which brings about decrease in learning outcomes, teachers unhappy with outcomes of learners, parents discouraged, and then government spending in education not commensurate with the result that we get. Then we talk about the rationale. The rationale is just to respond to the diversity of learners and their learning needs, as well as to provide a catch-up program to support learners to gain foundational skills for them to be able to perform at their grade levels. Yes, these I think we are very familiar with. And then the concept of differentiated learning itself, which takes into account what learners know and then how. Sorry, there's a tender strike here. The concept of differentiated learning or teaching at the right level, where a teacher takes into account what learners understand and teach them accordingly, rather than teaching them at their grade level expectation. It's also a catch-up program for Basic 2 to Basic 6 learners and focuses on equipping teachers to teach learners at their learning levels and also to implement differentiated learning with fidelity. All these will be detailed in the PowerPoint that we'll be using. And then we'll also be looking at the components of differentiated learning. That is the implementation team, you and I, SISOs, the headquarters, the dashboard, the community, and all those people involved in the implementation of differentiated learning. We'll also be looking at assessment, the classroom methodology, the approach, and the monitoring and evaluation. All these falls under the components of differentiated learning. We'll be taking them through. Then also we'll be looking at the importance. Why differentiated learning? Which is to improve learning outcomes, focusing on basic skills that the learners need, building their confidence, and then creating an enabling school environment for them to learn. And then also learners progress at their own pace. It's fun and engaging, involves all aspects of learning, play-based methodology. All these you are aware, and it's also in the PowerPoint. And then we look at the characteristics of a DL classrooms or the core principles of a DL classroom. Responsive, it responds to the learner's needs, and as the learner progresses, you move the learner, focuses on foundational skills, literacy, and then numeracy. Learner-centered, they own the lessons themselves. It's lively because it is play-based, relatable because they are able to relate to it through the games, and confidence building when they are able to perform the skill or produce the skill that is expected of them. It makes them happy and it makes them go on. Then we have the implementation approach. What goes into the implementation approach? All right, so next slide. When we talk about the implementation approach, as you are already aware, implemented by teachers, targeted Basic 2 to Basic 6 learners, assessment conducted first, all the protocols involved in implementation approach, and then assessment and grouping, which you are very familiar with. And we know that the bedrock of differentiated learning is assessment. You can't implement differentiated learning without assessing the learners, identifying their learning levels and placing them, and then giving them the dose that they need. So we take them, the CISOs, through these steps also for them to understand that when they go and the teacher says, oh, this time we are conducting assessment, the things that they must also look out for. We will also take them through the stages of assessment. That is, first of all, the administration of the assessment tools. We begin by administering the assessment tool, recording their data correctly, and then grouping learners according to their learning levels. Next slide. Then also, we also say, next slide. Next slide. So the bedrock of assessment, as I said earlier on, I've also spoken to the stages of assessment. We administer the assessment tools, record assessment, and group learners accordingly. The next slide. The next slide, please. Yes. We say that assessment occurs at the beginning and in the middle of every term. The beginning being the baseline assessment to put them into their learning levels, and then the midterm assessment for learners showing signs of progress. And then also we're going to have regular tests to be conducted for all learners during the term. Let us take note. There will be regular tests for all learners to also find their performance. But for the midterm assessment, we conduct for those who are showing signs of progress and immediately move them on to the next level. And then also, immediately after assessment, says all assessments are verified before final data is recorded. So what happens is that after the conduct of assessment and grouping, the head teacher or the CL within 5 to 7 days must conduct assessment, sample assessment, and to confirm that the assessment conducted by the class teacher is accurate. We also know that the assessment helps to place learners at their learning levels. Then also the next slide. Yes. Now we're also going to show them samples of the assessment tools. Then also what goes into the assessment protocols, assessment processes, level grouping, assessment verification, learner progression, as well as recording assessment. So when you talk of the protocols, what are the protocols that the teacher must go through before the conduct of the assessment? We already know them. Teacher must be patient, friendly, attentive. Learner must feel safe and relaxed in an environment devoid of fear. The environment must be conducive, not in a dark place, in a sunny place, a noisy place. The comfort level of the learner should also be a priority to the teacher. The learner should not be placed into any uncomfortable situation, so that we'll be able to get the optimum of every learner. And then also, it must be conducted of the look of all other learners, and both assessments must be conducted at a certain. Then when we talk of the assessment processes, as I said earlier, both English and Maths assessment is conducted at a certain. Teacher must take time and explain the instructions slowly and clearly to the learner. Constantly, the teacher must urge the learner on to do the task without feeling embarrassed. Assessment should be conducted of the look of other learners, as I've said. In case of mathematics, ask the learner to bring a sheet of paper, or the teacher may provide a sheet of paper. But after the conduct of the assessment, that sheet of paper remains with the teacher. The learner does not take the sheet away. And then varying of the assessment tool is also very important to avoid learners memorizing the assessment items, so that when the SISO is there and observing the conduct of the assessment, she should also be observing whether the teacher is varying the assessment or using the same version for all learners. Teacher must not be emotional as usual. Within 10 minutes, Assessment for both English and mathematics should be completed. And then also after the conduct of the assessment, teacher thanks the learner without letting the learner know the performance before leaving. And then teacher records the performance of the learner. Then we look at the level grouping and labeling. So we know that for English, there are 6 groups, 3 for lower, 3 for upper. Likewise, mathematics, a minimum of 6 groups from both lower and upper primary, where a particular level has a large class. That is where it may be divided into 2. Teachers should also allow learners to assign interesting names to the learning levels. Yes, learners should not know their levels by their name, by their level names. A few months ago, we went on monitoring, and then I got to a class, and I asked the teacher, please, which level is this? Immediately I asked the teacher, which level is this? All the learners responded, level 1. Immediately what happens? It means that the learners know their levels by their level names. So if you have a basic 6 learner who finds himself in level 1, what do you think will happen? So we are saying that teachers should encourage learners to come up with group names and labeling. The classes must be labeled. Then within the levels, we need to have groupings within the levels, well and neatly labeled. So these are some of the things that the SISO should look out for when they go for monitoring. And then also we look at assessment verification. As I said earlier on, the head teacher or the CL will be made to also verify the assessment. You know, we have 3 levels. So if for each level, the head teacher or the SISO or the CL will select 5, sample 5 of them. And if out of 5, we have 2 of them, we have maybe 3 of them having level 2 differences. That is to say, these learners were supposed to be in level 3, but they are in level 1. Or they were supposed to be in level 3, they are in level 1. Out of the 5, if you have 3 of such issues, then it means that the whole assessment must be conducted again. Or if you have a level 1 difference, you have 4 out of 5, the learners are supposed to be in level 2, but they are placed in level 1, or they are supposed to be in level 3, they are placed in level 2. Out of the 5 from that level, you have 4. It means it must be redone. In all, you are going to select 15 learners from level 1, 2, and 3. So if out of the 15, you have 3 of them being of level 2 level difference, then the assessment must be conducted again. And then if you have 4 out of the 15 being level 1 level difference, all the assessment must be conducted again. So teachers must be very critical when they are conducting the assessment. And as I said, the verification is conducted within 5 to 7 days of the term. The same assessment tools that were used for the conduct of the baseline assessment are the same assessment tools that should be used for the conduct of the verification. And then also head teachers and CLs will refer to the recordings on the form A1 to cross-check if it is correct. Now we go to learner progression. So we need to give opportunity to every learner so that they improve upon themselves. So we say learners should be given the opportunity to join higher levels or groups if they demonstrate higher level proficiencies after every assessment. So after the conduct of midterm assessment, you don't keep the child. Immediately you move the learner. So for example, when a non-reader or letter reader is now able to meet the requirements of a word reader after the midterm assessment, you immediately move this learner to level 2 to join the word readers without wasting the learner's time. So that is the learner progression. And then the recording of assessment, as we know, it must first be recorded on the learning progress sheet. Teachers must complete them immediately. They complete conducting the assessment, after which the head teacher and the CL will also complete the learning progress sheet for school based on the learning progress sheet for class. Can we move on? Thank you very much. So we're looking at, then we're also going to take them through the structure of the DL materials. So we have English language materials and then the mathematics material. So for English language, we have the teacher's guide, the activity books, the readers, the resource packet, and then the learner's workbook. Yes. Now, the teacher's guide, the English teacher's guide has 48 lessons per an academic year. So for every term, there are 16 lessons that the learners have to be taken through over a period of 8 weeks. So 2 English lessons per week for 8 weeks, 1 hour each day within the week for 2 days. So for each week, they are going to do 2 lessons in English language. Now, the teacher's guide has the concepts we taught, and there are references to the activity book as to the step-by-step approach that the teachers are to use in delivering their lessons. So when a SISO goes to a classroom and the teacher says, oh, we are in week 4, so I'm on lesson 2. The SISO takes the book, looks at the lesson, looks at the reference number, goes into the activity book, looks at the various stages of the lesson delivery, and then see if the teacher goes by what is in the activity book. As we are all aware, differentiated learning has scripted lessons. So teachers are expected to go according to what is in the book. And then for level 3 learners, they also have readers, short stories, which they are going to use. As Auntie Agi said the other day, some of these books are being printed and will be shared soon in the schools. And then also we have resource packet, which contains other strategies as well as having more activities for advanced learners. And then also learners' books, workbooks have been developed. Learners' workbooks have been developed. It is also in print. And then definitely it will get to the school. So this is the structure and the materials that are used in implementing English language in our various DL Plus schools. Next slide. So, as I said, there are 48 lessons a year, 16 lessons per week, 8 weeks in a term, 2 lessons, and 1 hour per day. Yeah, so we look at the mathematics materials. We also have the teacher's guide, the activity books, the resource packet, and the learner's workbook. Now, with mathematics, ours are not in lessons, they are in models. And we have 5 models. And each level goes through 3 of the modules within the academic year. So it's been structured that for level 1, they will go through module 1, term 1, module 2, term 2, module 3, term 3. For level 2, they will begin with module 2 and continue with module 3 and module 4. And for level 3, they begin with module 3, 4, and 5. Each of the modules has 16 lessons over the 8 weeks period of implementation, 2 lessons per week, 1 hour per day. They are also scripted, so the teacher's guide introduces the concept, and the strategies to implement the concept are in the activity book. So references are in the teacher's guide leading to the activity book, where teachers are supposed to go in there and then look at it and then use the activities there to deliver the lessons. We also have the resource packet, and as I said earlier on, the learners' workbooks are also in print and soon will be made available to the learners. Let's move on. So section 3, we are looking at, next slide. Yes, we are very familiar with this. So we are also going to introduce them, the SISOs, to the monitoring tools. We have the Form A1, the Learning Progress Sheet for school, Form A2, the LPS for, Form A1, the LPS for class, A2, LPS for school, B1, the lesson observation sheet or booklet, and then the Form B2, the feedback form, the Form D1, the attendance for class, the Form D2, the attendance for school. And as I said, the dashboard is also going to be a monitoring tool as well, where at the click of a button, we will see everything that is expected to be done. I need not belabor the points on the various forms because we are very conversant with it, and detailed explanations will be in the PowerPoint that will be given to you. Can we go on to the next? Yes, this is also a major component of differentiated learning plus, universal design for learning principles. These are principles that are to be used in order to make sure that no learner is left out in the classroom. And the 3 principles are 3: multiple means of engagement, multiple means of representations, and the multiple means of action and expressions. Now, when you talk of multiple means of engagement, we are talking about motivation. What should motivate a learner to say, I am going to learn? Why should I learn? What should cause me to go and learn? How? Why? What do you use? What will you use to cause me, to interest me to come and learn? So we say multiple means of engagement is stimulating learners' interest and motivating them to learn. It is also called the why of learning. Why should I learn? And then multiple means of representation. How the teacher is to present the content to learners in different ways in order to maximize learning. As we said, we are all not the same. We all have our ways of learning. Some are visual, some are audio, some are kinesthetics, others are audiovisual. So as a teacher, what kind of strategies are you going to use or apply so that you will satisfy every learner within the classroom? Because note that we are talking about inclusive learning, where no learner is left out. Those persons with disability that we think for them they are out. No, this time we're saying all of them are to be within the same classroom setting. So what strategies are you going to use so that every learner in the class, those with low vision, how are you going to support them? Those with hearing impairment, how are you going to support them within the classroom? What strategies are you going to use so that you satisfy the need of every learner? That is the what of learning. Presenting content to learners in different ways in order to maximize learning. And then actions and expressions. Every learner should be given the opportunity to express or communicate the way he or she learns. Some will prefer drawing, some will prefer saying, some will prefer dramatizing. We should embody all these in their presentation of their what they have learned. So these are the main principles under universal design for learning. There are others, and I think in your PPT, you get detailed explanations there to help you also explain it further to the teachers. So we have the multiple means of engagement. That is the why of learning. Why should I learn? What is the motivation? Multiple means of representation. How to present the content in different ways to maximize learning. What of learning? How are you going to deliver to satisfy everybody? And then multiple means of action and expression, where learners are given the opportunity to also communicate the way they can do it best. The how they present their responses to your questions and other things. So this is on universal design for learning. Can we go on to the next slide? Yes, I've spoken to all these. Can we go to the next slide? Yes. Now, we said one of the major components of differentiated learning plus is managing strategies for managing various class sizes. As during monitoring rounds, we see that you have so much, a large class, a small class size. So there are various class sizes, small class size, medium class size, large class size, mixed ability, and multi-grade classes. They are all there. How do we manage these classes during implementation of DL? So we also have content on these, which we will take them through. And all these that I am saying is also embedded in the implementation guide. So I believe our coordinators will also make it available so that we also acquaint ourselves with all these things in the detailed explanations in the implementation guide, so that when we get there, we'll also be able to give them the necessary information. So I will not belabor the point here. Each of them have various strategies under them, which the teachers can use in the various classrooms, so that when the CISOs also go, they can also coach them as to how to go about managing the various classes without throwing their hands in the air. All right. Can we go on to the next slide? Can we go on to the next slide? All right. All right. So on this note, I wish to say thank you very much. And I'm here for a few comments and then questions and clarity.
Hello.
Yeah,
I think if
Mr.
there are no
Santi.
questions for Mr. Adolfo, then we can go ahead and ask Murphy to do his presentation. So, Murphy,
Thank you very much, Mr. Santi.
you are welcome, sir. So, Murphy, if you are around and ready, we are also ready for you.
Yeah, Charles, a moment. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Hello and welcome. to this presentation once again. I'm going to share my screen, so just give me a moment to share my screen. Hello, please, can my screen be seen?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Um, Looks like the internet is a bit slow. Let me change it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's on now. It can be seen now.
Okay. All right. So we are going to look at the online dashboard, then the school DO plus application, the role of the SISO in these two applications or the dashboards. You look at concept and definitions and some revision. So the purpose of this presentation is to equip you with knowledge and skills to access the DL Plus online dashboard and also use the data to track DL Plus implementation. And let me also emphasize that the main target group for this dashboard is the teachers because we want them to monitor and track what is going on. And then the second one is to assist schools to use the DL Plus application. So the circuit supervisor should at least not like troubleshooting all the technical issues, but to have idea about how things work and then assist the schools with minor issues. So the DL Plus dashboard is accessible online. So whether you are using a phone or laptop or computer, any device that is connected to the internet, you'll be able to access it. All you have to do is to put in your username and your password. And if it is correct, access will be granted to you. We also have the DL Plus Android application. So those who are not really, they like Android apps and stuff, they can also install that one. And that one is for CISOs, for districts and regional and the national offices, not the schools. All right, so when you are able to log in or you put in your username and password, you'll be greeted with this interface. So this is the main dashboard. And when we say dashboard, it's for those of you who are familiar with automobiles or vehicles. I mean, that is where the term is borrowed. You know, technology is like a baby industry. Um, and so we are borrowing some of the terms from the old industries like automobiles, like catering. So we have something like menu, we have something like dashboard, or we are borrowing from all the industries because technology is fairly new. So when we say a dashboard, you know, when you sit in a vehicle and you start your car, the dashboard signs or the indicators on the dashboard should tell you the health of your vehicle. And so we are seeing DL plus. So we are likening DL plus as a vehicle, okay, a vehicle that we are driving. And so once you log in, you should be able to tell whether things are going well or things are not going well with the indicators that are on the screen. And so there are so many indicators, but we will not go through all of them. I think as they use it, they'll be able to understand the indicators and then the statistics on the dashboard. And so when you get to the dashboard, our main focus will be the the bell icon. So if you can see the bell icon from where you are, this is the bell icon. So we want the CISOs to track data submission. So it is one of the key things. If we don't have the data, then we don't have anything. We don't have we will not be able to display the indicators on the dashboard. So the first thing is to get the data. And so CISOs should be helping in this regard to help, all the schools, ensure that all the schools submit the data onto the dashboard. So when you log in, you click on the bell icon. It will display a page for you, and then you click on view schools. Then you'll be able to see, when you click on view schools, you'll be able to see this on your screen. So we have a number of data sets that the schools are to submit, and there are about 6 of them. There are 6 of them. We have school identification. Okay, we have school identification. We have learner assessment. So the assessment that they will be conducting, learner attendance, teacher attendance, lesson observation, and evaluation. For lesson observation, it will be done by the SISOs. So the SISOs are to do lesson observation. The head teacher can also do lesson observation. But as Hima explained 3 days ago, what counts, like per the M&E framework, then we're focusing much on the CISOs as to whether the CISO is providing coaching and mentoring. And so the CISO has to complete the digitized lesson observation and then also submit it. So please, when you go, let them know that when they visit the school for the purposes of DL plus and they are going for lesson observation, it is important that they complete a lesson observation and then submit it. Now, this is how the submission dashboard, the submission panel looks like. So for all the 6 items, the system will show you whether a school has submitted or not. Okay, so when you come here, you will see yes with green background and then no with red background. So when you see yes with green background, what it means is that the school has submitted that data set. Okay, and if you see red, it means that that school has not submitted that data set. So the one that you are seeing right now, we can see 2 reds, means that 2 schools have not submitted school identification, and the names of the schools are there. So you quickly, as a CISO, you call them to find out what is wrong. If it's a technical issue, then you escalate it to the district, and I'm sure the district will also escalate it to the right quarters to get it resolved. And so the most important part of this is to ensure that the CISOs are monitoring the dashboard in terms of data submission and trying to make sure that all the schools submit the data on time. All right. For other statistics on the dashboard, we will look at it later. But let's also go to the school application. Now, the schools also have an application called DL Plus application that they use. And this is the interface. So this is for the school. This is not for the office or to the regional. It's just for the school. And this dashboard is accessible only at the school level, in the school. You cannot access it anywhere. It is in the school. All right. So the school dashboard, after you have logged in, this is how it looks like. It gives you the number of learners on level, English and maths, all the levels, and gives you all the statistics. So this is also a full application on its own. And all the reports that they need are accessible within the school. So they don't really need internet to have access to any of the things that we are seeing on the dashboard. Okay. Now, at the school level, these are the processes that a school must go through to submit all the data. So for the first time, you must register your learners. As you all know, we closely on the dashboard across the country, we have more than
Murphy,
16,000. Yeah.
Murphy,
Yes. Please, can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think there have been some concerns from the participants.
Okay.
Some are saying they can't see the dashboard, especially those using the YouTube link.
They
So if
can't
you
see.
could, yes, they can't see the dashboard your presentation, those using the YouTube link. So if you can go back and start from the login process
So can
and
they see now?
okay, so that will the comments will help us.
Okay, so let me know whether they can see or not, so that we can probably can they see
So Murphy,
yeah
kindly follow from our screen.
from
Our screen.
all right.
Yes, I think you can go ahead.
Okay.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, so this is just, I think I'll do the real the demonstration. This is just the slide, so we can go over because the practical, I'll be doing the practicals or the practical demonstration.
Okay, then you can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so you let me follow from your screen if you have the presentation, Charles. All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I can follow from here.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we starting from this place?
Yes, please.
All right. So as I was saying, the dashboard can be accessed by the link dlplus.org. So when you type in dlplus.org on all devices that are connected to the internet, you should be able to access the page. And then before you access the dashboard, you must be authenticated. So you put in your username and the password for system to check whether you actually qualify to access the data. And based on your level, whether you are the district or the region or the national level, you'll be able to access the data within that particular jurisdiction. So that's how you access the dashboard. You need a password and a username, and then the link doplus.org to visit it. We can also there is also an Android app that you can install still to access the dashboard. Okay, let's like all right. So as I said, once you log in, our point of interest is the bell icon. The bell icon. So on your extreme right, you will see something like a bell. You click on it and it will open a page for you. Then you click on view schools. That is where you are going to see all the submissions. We will do the practical demonstration. So let's quickly go through the slides. Please, next slide. All right. So when you are able to click on that view school button, it displays this one for you. The image or the picture on your right is the submission board or the submission panel. That tells you whether a school has submitted that data or not. On your left is a list of data items or a list of data sets that must be submitted to the dashboard. So every school is to submit the school identification, learner assessment, learner attendance, teacher attendance, lesson observation, and then evaluation. So these are the data sets that is expected of every school to submit. And we all know that lesson observation is done by either head teacher or the SISO. And as Ima pointed out, for the M&E framework, we are looking at the lesson observation for the SISO. So that will count in terms of the M&E framework. But the headmaster or the head teacher can also be doing lesson observation and be recording the outcomes onto the dashboard. So if the the color. You see on the submission board or the submission panel, there are two main colors, green and red. So when the student submitted that data submitted. And so under every data set, school identification, learner assessment, learner attendance, teacher attendance, and all the rest, you see that under each of these data items, and for all the schools within the district, the CISO will be able to tell by looking at the submission board whether a school has submitted or not. And so that is what it means. All right, next slide. So once you see the red, it means the data has not been submitted. Now we move on to the school application or the school dashboard. The school dashboard helps them to do all the data entry. And after doing the data entry, instantly they see the result or they see the statistics. Okay, so once you put in the data, the system automatically generates the dashboard. I mean the school dashboard. That is when you need internet connectivity. But locally, they can do the data entry and the system will generate the dashboard or the statistics or the report instantly. As soon as you enter it, you have it. And so for the CISOs, they can also monitor the school's dashboard to know which the levels and everything, the level grouping, uh, the submission process. In this way, they will get submission. Next slide. So there are a number of steps that must be followed to submit. So if it's for the first time, then you need to register the learners. So all the learners that are benefiting from the DL plus, the school must register them and the system will assign unique identities to them. And then after doing the
Hello, Murphy. Hello, Murphy. Hello, Murphy. Hello. Hello, colleagues. I think Murphy is having problem with his internet. So kindly bear with us. He will reorganize himself and start with his presentation. So kindly hold on. He will be with us very soon. Thank you.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so sorry for the issues that we are facing. We have internet challenges here. It looks like this morning the connection is very poor, so please apologies. All right, so as I was saying, the main role that we want the TISO to play is to track the submission on the server or on the dashboard and to know which schools have submitted the data or not. And so for the school application, these are the processes. You must know that you must register the learners into the application, generate the assessment sheets, and then do the entry. So the entries is taken from the LPS, upload it into the system. You do same for attendance sheets and then you upload it. Then the last stage is you sync the data. That is where you need internet connection to sync the data to the online dashboard. Please, next slide. Okay, so on the school's dashboard, there's a column, there's a menu called data submission. Data submission. So all that they have to do is to go to that section. And you remember the data items that they have to submit. All of them are there. So once you work on it, you go there and then you submit. You choose the data sets that you want to submit onto the dashboard. And then you submit it onto the dashboard. So you do the submission one after the other, whichever. If you are done with assessment, then you do it. If you are done with, let's say, teacher attendance or learners attendance, then you submit it. So you submit it one after the other. And then and the CISOs, when they log
the CISO must visit the school to be able to submit. If the CISO does not visit the school, then he or she will not be able to submit. So these are the various rules or the each things that we want the CISOs to do. They must ensure that the data is on the dashboard. If it is not there, they prompt the schools. And when they visit the school and doing lesson observation, they must use the application to submit to the online dashboard. Report all DL plus software issues to the district, and the district will escalate the issue to the users, and also to do regular backup of their database. This is because the app is running offline, and so we want to ensure that if anything happens to their devices, we can still restore everything back to them. So they do regular backups. Anytime you submit, you also do backup online into the cloud, so that if anything happens to your local device that you are using, all the data will be restored to you. Okay, so these are the critical roles that we want the CISOs to play with regards to the dashboard. Please, let's go to the next slide. All right. So we say dashboard. So as I explained, because we want to ensure that the app is available 100%, so it has been developed offline. And offline means that most the device is keeping or storing the data on your device. And so in order to make sure that we still have the data when it breaks down, your device breaks down, we have something we call backup. So creating a copy of the data into the cloud, so that anytime there's an issue with your device, we'll be able to restore it back. So you can just get a new device or somewhere, and then we'll be able to restore everything back to you. So they must do regular backup of the database, of their school's database. Now we also have something we call recording sheets. As I explained, there are two methods. Either you enter it directly or you use recording sheets. Recording sheet is appropriate or suitable for schools that have multiple data entry points. So if you have many teachers doing the entry, they can use recording sheets, both assessment and then attendance. But if you have one data entry clerk or someone who is doing all the data entry, then it is appropriate that they use the direct entry, where you just do the direct entry and you submit it onto the online dashboard. Then the next term is uploading of recording sheet. So after you have done it on your device, you need to upload it into the DL Plus application. So DL Plus uploading means the data is available locally on the device that you are using. That is the uploading. But the data submission is when now the data is transferred from your device onto the DL Plus dashboard for all to see the data that you have submitted. So these are the terms and then the concept that we just want you to note. Now we want to do, so let's do a little revision. I'm not too sure whether you heard me. It's so quiet here. I don't know whether anyone is hearing me. It is not interactive, and this is it's supposed to be practical, and it is dead silent here. I don't know whether what I'm saying you guys are listening. So Charles, please let's get people, let's get interactive. Let's get people to talk and all that. Let's know what is happening, because I'm not too sure whether they understood what I took them to. Hello, Charles.
Yeah, Murphy, can
Yeah.
you hear me?
So so please let's get people to answer questions. Let's get interactive because it's quite silent here. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes, I think at a point there was an issue with the sound, but you came back. So, like you've
Okay.
indicated, so colleagues, let's hear you out. So, what questions do you want them to answer? These ones.
Yeah. So you can mention names for people to respond to, and
All right. So, you should all get ready because your name can be mentioned at any time. So, the first
yes,
question
yes.
I have. So, if we have Christiana Cluche. Christiana, if you are ready, let's hear you. Say, explain how to track data submission on the DL Plus dashboard. So, Christiana. So, please type your responses in the chat box. Hello, Murphy.
Or they are not able to
No, they
talk
are,
or what?
yes, they can't talk. So,
So this yeah, I think yeah, so I'm not too sure. This is supposed to be practical and stuff like that. So I just spoke. I don't know. So they should respond. So each one of them should respond in the chat box, and let's know what they
okay,
think. If they have
so
questions, you can
I'm
ask.
mentioning some names. I'm going to mention some names, and whoever
Mm.
is ready can type in the comment box so that
Yeah, we know how they're
yeah,
actually taking the whole.
yeah. Somebody is saying you should share the password and the username for them to try.
Okay, so the thing is that the data there is the live data. Okay, so we are not too sure. So for try, I'm putting user one. Like they should just type one and then password one. So we are going to activate that thing for just for the practical, so that they can try their hands on it. So
Okay.
username is one. They should just type one at the username, and then the password two should be one. They should be able to log in and then try it.
Is one as in figure or as in words?
Yes, figure one. One.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the temporal username and password. Are there any responses, Charles?
Yes. Um, Lydia Keteku. Say if the button is indicated red, then it means the data from school has not been submitted. Then
Mm,
Christiana also said this is done by regular backups. That's the question one. Explain how to track. Somebody is asking
mm.
where are we typing all that?
The comment.
Yes.
Mm, I'm not too sure. For this one, we are not able to assess whether they understood or they um
Murphy,
yeah.
Murphy. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I can
they
hear
are
you.
asking where they should type the username and the password.
Yeah, so the link is dorplus.org. Once you type your dorplus.org, it will ask you, the page will open and ask you for your username and password. Plus. So you open your browser, whichever browser you are using. Okay, then you type dorplus.org. After typing it, then you'll be granted access. Hello, Charles, are you there?
Yeah, so we are still waiting for their responses. Somebody is asking who submits the data. Is it the head teacher or the
Who?
teacher? Who submits the
No,
data?
as I said, the the school may delegate one person, or the school may have someone who is responsible for that. It could be the head teacher or any other teacher.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't, that most of the school, they not all the teachers are IT inclined to be doing the data input.
Yes.
Okay, so they have someone who does the entries on behalf of them. But if
Uh,
they, yeah, so I mean, we have someone who is managing the software. So when they are done with the LPS and analysis, then they will put and sync it to the online data.
all right.
Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Okay. All right. And have they been able to log in? Has anyone been able to log in?
We are still.
So how many participants so far on the
DO plus.
no, I mean those who are actually who have joined this presentation.
They are.
Okay.
We have 34. I think 35.
34. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So Charles, what do you think? For presentation I'm done, but as to whether they were able to follow, I'm not too sure.
hmm.
I'm not too and the
Okay,
thing
so
is not interactive.
let's. Okay, somebody is saying he's been able to log in.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
so let me type again. Somebody is asking for a username and people have been able to log in.
Okay, all right.
Uh,
And that's fine. Let them with the account that they have, they should tell you which schools have not submitted what data. Like they should track it and let's see.
okay, I think
With
they
the
can
account,
hear you now. They can hear you. They can hear you,
Yeah,
so you
so
tell them and let's monitor their feedbacks.
okay, so please with the login, with the account that you have used to log in, I think it's for La Quanta 9 or so district. So check or track which schools have not submitted what data. So you should mention the name of the school and the kind of data that they have not submitted yet,
Okay.
because that is
Please, have
key
you
to
all
what
gotten?
the
Okay, so people have been able to log in.
good. So let them tell us they should track the submission by following the steps and tell us which schools have not submitted with the account that we have given. That is, it's for La Quanta 9. So they should tell us which schools have not submitted and what kind of data they have not submitted.
Hello, Murphy.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Solomon Nate, the Babayara community too, has not submitted school identification.
Okay. And that's correct.
Yeah, I think they've been able to log in. Yeah.
And try.
So please, let's have more responses. So once you've been able to log in, let's see the schools that have not submitted and what data they have not submitted yet. That's the practicals we are doing. So please. So we will have to give ourselves some time whilst we await their feedback.
All right, I think so.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I guess 2022 have been able to log in.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
too
So
sure whether it's
somebody
one.
is saying Teman St. James not submitted.
Not submitted what?
And he's here to give us the. Oh, this one is coming from Ricardo for. And until I get to. Okay.
Um,
He said,
okay,
until I
so
is
for us,
asking, Murphy,
mhm,
until I
mhm.
is asking, they say Teman St. James has no red, but in there, everything is green. Any reasons why?
Tema has no red.
Yes.
No, so let me check and see.
She's saying Teman has red, but in there everything is green.
Has red.
Yes, but
Yes.
in there
So
everything is green.
no, if they have red, that means that particular data set they have not submitted it. So maybe they have one red, the rest are green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like here. So they have one red, but the rest are green. So the account is for a district. So that is typically what they will be doing for the CISOs. They will be logging into the district account and be tracking that on the dashboard. Then they get to the ground to ensure that the schools. And then another one is that they have to be able to also submit the CISO's lesson observation. So these are the two main. In fact, let me also add that they ensure that the report, the progression report that the system also generates is shared or the school discusses it. The school look at the progression, if students are moving up, if students are not moving up. I mean, there's a report like that, and the CISO must also ensure that the schools generate those reports and discuss it.
Okay. Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
we will share your contact on the platform so that in case anyone has a challenge, the person
mm,
can reach you for further clarification on the dashboard.
okay. All right. So that's fine.
All right. So
All right. So,
I think that will be all for
mm,
now. But before we go, we will give Mr. Eboa some few minutes to close us. So please let's welcome Mr. Isaac Yeboah, the DL coordinator national, as he gives us the closing remarks.
All right. Good afternoon once again. Um, we have brought the whole trading to a close now, but I will want to thank you all who were able to join for staying through till the end. Thank you very much. But at the same time, I also want to say that yes, we will not be able to get the understanding completely with this period within this period. But we have got some few days ahead of us. If you are still having some challenges, we are going to try and post the contacts of the presenters on our platform so that if you want some further clarification, you can get in touch with them. Please try as much as possible to get in touch with them if you still don't understand certain things, because, like I said, it's going to be between you and your CISOs when you go to the field. So please try as much as possible to get clarifications wherever you find some challenges. Again, I also want to remind us that we are supposed to leave to our various districts on Sunday, please. We are supposed to report on Sunday. I'm not talking about the evening of Sunday. Sunday by 12, we should be there and report ourselves to our directors, district directors, for the training. Get yourself acquainted with the environment over there before the Monday. You are going to do the training on Monday and Tuesday. And we have also sought permission for you for an additional day, that is Wednesday. We know you'll be making your movements back to your districts on Wednesday. So that arrangement has been done for you. So permission has been sought for you. We are going to share the permission letter on the platform so that you can send it to your directors. We at the same time we are sharing it through the regional directors also. So the permission has been sought for you on that. The budget for this also has been sent to the district directorates already, and they are very much aware of what is supposed to get to you. But I must also say that, yes, uh, whatever arrangements that the districts will have over there, please, you will have to bear with us. That is in terms of whatever thing may, but you sit down with them. We have shown you what is supposed to you are supposed to receive. With this training, we are going to share with you the timetable for the training. I think I'll be waiting for Eric to do that, and then we'll share the timetable on the platform so that you will know what to do on Monday and what to do on Tuesday. The whole day is for you, and the number of participants that you're going to have will not be so much. In some cases, you may have 5. In some cases, you may have 10, 12. It might not even exceed that because the majority of the circuits, majority of the districts may not have circuits that may be more than 12. So you're going to interact with very few people. That makes we are assuming that it will be an effective kind of training. We're also reminding you that officers from the headquarters and from our donors, our partners, will be on the field to also get to see what you are doing over there at the district. Please give out your very best. My concern is with those of us who participated today in this training. Make sure you register. We're going to go through the list, and it doesn't matter when you even join with YouTube or Facebook. We see everything over here. We know, so don't worry about where you joined. It is seen. But I'm worried about the numbers, and we may have to, if uh, we don't take care. Some of us may be dropping out. If it happens, I have already warned you. It is not our making, because initially I made you aware that this thing is very, very important. So try as much as possible to join. And today, I saw some people dropping out, and probably, well, it will be a decision to be taken by management. So if we drop you, please don't blame anybody. We are having the list with us. So please, that is the only thing that we can say. Um, we have taken care of the DSA for 3 days. We've also taken care of your TNT, and at least by the end of the whole thing, we'll be able to get something substantial to come along with. On that note, I will also want to remind you that there are some materials that we will need to share with you as you even go to the field. These materials has to do with the slides themselves that we have, the slides that we use for this presentation. We are putting all together. We'll print them out and share it through the national monitors who will come around. So we are going to do that. And even not only that, but there are other materials also that we will be adding to it to help you, to assist you to do your training. And so we would use our national monitors, and then through that, it will be sent to you. Those of us in Greater Accra, we are going to do the changes that needs to be done, and then we will post the final list. What will be happening is that if we're going to drop someone, we would find a way of getting some additional training for that person. So that one shouldn't be a problem. But those of us in Greater Accra, we will just try and get you, and then probably call you to come to a point where you can have those materials. We are working on it today, tomorrow. We should be able to get all of them together and then distribute to you, so that when you go, you will share it at the district level with your participants. They should know what we are doing. That is part of those materials will be shared to them. And then part also will be for you. It will assist you to be able to do your presentations very well. So we will share the soft copy and then the hard copy as well. We are putting it together. Aside that, I think there isn't any other thing to say. Thank you very much for taking part in this training. We wish you all the best. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best and good afternoon to everyone. Bye bye.